Hi folks, it's Richard from Inclusive Driving again, and we've got another video where we go through some Google reviews of driving test centres where people explain why they failed, and we'll try and come up with some ideas of what actually happened to give a better understanding of why that would be a fail. So here we have a review from Emma. You may remember Emma from the previous video last week. She says, avoid at all costs, failed 4 times, and each examiner tells me driving is perfect, just forgot to do this or forgot to do that. So this suggests to me that you've had more than one examiner. Okay, so if more than one examiner is telling you the same thing, I'd be inclined to believe them. Now, here we have to be thinking about risk. You haven't said what you were told you'd forgotten, but just as an example, I'm going to use forgetting a blind spot check. I'm not saying that is what happened here, but for an example, every time you forget a blind spot check, there is increased risk to other vulnerable road users. That could be a cyclist overtaking you. And if you habitually forget to check blind spots, then you are doing that action again and again. And the more often you do it, the more likely it is that you are going to injure a cyclist overtaking you. So although it seems a bit harsh to have an examiner saying your driving was really good, you just forgot to do this, you cannot forget to do this. So I agree with the examiner there. Here we have a review by Ellie, or Ellie. As a driving instructor myself, I was very shocked when my student was failed for not giving way to the left on a roundabout. Clearly the examiner needs to do some training. Absolutely correct, we don't normally give way to the left on a roundabout, but possibly what has happened here is a car on your left has failed to give way to you and you haven't responded appropriately. So that's what I think is probably what's happened here. Now this is a very long review by AR Limited. What I've done is I've highlighted the relevant bit here. So I was driving on a 30-mile-an-hour road just past the traffic lights, and the lights turned amber and just failed me for that, saying you should stop there. And when I said that I'd have to do harsh braking, the examiner said that's fine because no car was at the back of you. Absolutely agree. When you are approaching traffic lights, even if they are green, you need to know who is behind you so that you can make the decision on whether you are going to stop or continue. It seems here that it was probably that you hadn't checked your centre mirror, so you weren't aware of the situation behind you. And if there is time to stop on an amber light, then we should. Amber light means stop unless to do so would cause an accident. So always be aware of who is behind you, even if the traffic light is green. And so then when it does turn amber, you already have the necessary information in your head as to whether you can stop or whether you do need to carry on. So in this one, Jenny, she says, I'm appalled at the entire establishment failing test candidates because they're too confident or good, even to the extent that a candidate reversed a good length away from a flood to keep both the candidate, the examiner and the car safe. That should have been a pass. So the fact that you've highlighted this, this instance of reversing away from a flood, I'm guessing that this was mentioned as the reason for failing. So what is likely to have happened in my experience is that the candidate reversed, but without checking what was behind. So without checking blind spots, without looking directly out the back window. So it's likely that this was a fail for observation while reversing. And this is an interesting one. A reviewer by the name of MusicPro says, very unprofessional, grumpy examiners, failing students for other road users' faults. Feedback at the end is not clear. Okay, I can't comment on that. But let's pick up on failing students for other road users' faults. As a driver, any road user is going to occasionally make a mistake, and we have to deal with other people's mistakes. So you can't really blame a fail on the actions of other road users, because you need to respond appropriately to them, either by giving way or adjusting your speed, or maybe changing lane, or doing an emergency stop, taking some action to correct somebody else's fault. If you demonstrate that you are not able to do that in response to the actions of other road users, then you are likely to fail. So I hope that's been useful, giving you an insight into why people may fail driving tests. And if you like this video, give me a comment below, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you on another video very soon.